Hi, good morning, good afternoon. I just want to take a few minutes to go over this information that I provided for you. And so I'm going to start here right on the top. It's for the EDTE 507 course. Application for graduation February 1st is come and gone. Everybody that needs to have gotten that in has it in, I believe. So I have this syllabus, and I'd like to go over the syllabus really quick here to point out a few things that is important. And so this course is to help you complete your culminating experience, and you have an advisor that is working with you, and you also have an EDT 298 course that is helping you with your e-portfolio. So we have some guidelines here. Let me go down. And so there are some requirements for all of you in this course. April 1st deadline to complete your project report. That there will be some opportunity to make some revisions on that in 2 or 3 weeks after April 1st. Your project report should follow, your human subjects application that you turned in and got approved. You had a form, I don't know if you recall that, but I'm sure you do. Anyway, let me go past that. I don't need to dwell on that. So I do have some resources in the Canvas course application. There's a rubric for your literature review. That could be helpful. Some examples. The literature review pre-recording from Christian Ward. Thesis report example. Final submission documents for graduation. And I believe everybody has their application for graduation in, yes. And then here's some resources. APA format is required in the report. It's a link to OWL. There's a Sacramento State Graduate Student Guide for writing. This is the application for information towards graduation. I think you've gotten all those steps in. The Writing Center can be helpful in editing. There's a link there. And then the deadlines. April 1st, again, the deadline for your project report. April 15th is the deadline for completing any revisions. So you'll send your completed project report into your advisor via email on April 1st, and then that will be sent to the second reader and the program coordinator, me, and then we'll provide some feedback on that. And before April 15th, you should get that back, and you can make some revisions on that. And April 15th is the deadline for making corrections on revisions. So after April 1st, we probably will get that back to you that week, 1st through the 7th. And then 15th, it has to be turned in again, and the graduate coordinator on the campus will look at it and then provide any feedback on that. And then on April 27th, that's the final deadline that your advisor needs to approve your report. There will be no more changes after April 27th. That is the final deadline for it to get to the graduate office. And then we have the finalized e-portfolio, which is your EDTE 298 course will help you on that. And then the grading. So with this 507 course, your advisor is will provide you a grade for that course and this course, and then you will get an RP that stays on if you shows academic progress, and that should turn into a credit. It takes a little while for that to process, 2 or 3 weeks until after the semester ends. If you don't meet the deadlines, you'll get a no credit. And that's you want to meet the deadline so you can get an RP. So you need to make adequate academic progress on your work, and that will be determined by meeting the April 1st deadline, and hopefully you can make the revisions by the April 27th. So you do need to make this April 1st deadline to get an RP. It's important. If you don't make that, I'll explain that in a minute. You will have a second reader. That's part of the April 1st deadline. The second reader will look at your work. There's what's called continuous enrollment, and that's important to know. The continuous enrollment is allowed for students who receive a grade of RP but don't finish the revisions on the report by April 27th. So you've met the April 1st deadline, but you don't make your revisions until you can't meet that April 27th deadline. You will be able to enroll in continuous enrollment because there's just a little bit left you have to complete. The cost is much less. If you don't get an RP, you'll have to take, and you get an NC, that means you didn't make the April 1st deadline, then you would need to re-enroll in EDTE 507, and you'd have an advisor like you have who would work with you. For the continuous enrollment, you do not have an advisor. Only the program coordinator would be working with you. So you really have to be basically done. You just didn't, make these final revisions just for some small things you didn't finish by the April 27th deadline. So that's a little bit about this course, what's in the Canvas course, and then you have those resources that are available. You don't need the human subject application form. If you do, this is where it's at. Then you have some support for your literature review here. There's several different items here to support you in your literature review development. And today is February 9th, and we'll take a look at here's some examples of completed thesis and completed project. And this is an example of the report. Let me open this up here real quick. Here it comes. Thanks for your patience. It's down here and downloads, and we'll just open it up here. Okay, here we go. So this is helpful in completing your report in APA format, along with the L website. These are the headings, the formats like Level 1, Literature Review, Methodology, Discussions, they would be all centered in boldface. The Level 2 headings would be like under Literature Review, you have your different sections. They would be left aligned and bold-faced, and primarily in the Level 3, you may have Level 3 that, but this here tells you, that's what this little table is. It tells you how to format your APA headings. You will, if the APA is not followed, the graduate coordinator will return your work back to you between April 15th and 27th, and you'll have to make those corrections. There's some convention style, a little bit of information, format of your essay. And these are possible headings that you would have. You may not have these exact headings. That's where you work with your advisor on the exact headings that you're going to have in your project report. And there's that link to the L. And here's the starting with your title page. And what I've asked for you all to do is, actually while you're writing your drafts up for me, is to include this entire all the Level 1 headings. That means the title page, the abstract, and the introduction. You don't need to type action research report. This is just an example of a report, but you probably wouldn't have that as a Level 1 heading unless you haven't. I doubt if anybody would have you. Here's your first review of literature. This is part of the introduction. You don't need a Level 1 heading in your introduction. It can be blank. There's review of literature, center boldface. Every paragraph's indented. Here's another level 1 heading. Here's a level 2 heading setting participants under your methods section. So they should help. And this would really help you just start writing also. So that's a little bit about what this IMET Research Report template is for. And then at the end, we have a couple more forms that you'll do at the end of the semester, and I will come back to these. You don't have to worry about them right now, but I'll make sure that we come back to those. And you do have these guidelines here, which I'd like to touch on really quick, because these are good to know, good to follow, to be able to complete on time. And so what's really helpful here are these deadlines here that have been set for to help guide you in successfully completing your project. You will work with your individual advisor. So at this point, February 5th, you should have turned in something to your advisor for feedback on your project report. So the suggestion was literature review, but some of you may be working on methodology. So then you have an April 28th deadline. So that's helpful there. There's some, let's see what else we have down here. For most of the advisors, what you can expect from me, Mark Rodriguez, if I'm your advisor, then you will submit more work by Monday. I would accept it Tuesday or Wednesday, but and I will review during the week, and with the goal to get feedback to you by Friday, so you can work on the weekends and get send something back in. And generally, what I will do is respond twice. You put something in, I'll respond on it, give you feedback. You can put that back in again, and I'll look at it one more time. But it won't be efficient. You keep turning the same thing in more than 2 times. So keep that in mind. Here's what happens if you don't meet the April 1st deadline, and I've already talked about that a bit. So these are the dates to live by here. So if you haven't met this February 5th deadline, then it's already February 9th, so you still could get something in on Monday or Tuesday for me, and then I would probably be able to get to it by Friday and give you feedback. That's my goal, is to give you feedback by Fridays at the latest, if I wasn't able to get to it by Saturday mornings. So anyway, that's a little video about what this Canvas course is about, and thank you very much. Looking forward to reading all your work, and have a great semester. See ya.